Cheers everybody, this is Eric, I'm back. I'm gonna do a 2-year review on my RIMS system. That's my INKBIRD IPB-16 PID controller and my 18-inch RIMS tube with the 1650 watt heating element. This video is brought to you by Yeasty Beastie, local homebrew supply store in Biloxi, Mississippi. This is the INKBIRD IPB-16 PID control box. It is 6 by 6 1/4 by 3 inches deep. It's about $110, $105. You can get it cheaper from time to time. The new version is the IPB-16S. It's going to have an on-off switch for your heating element and an on-off switch already built in for your brew pump. This one I had the pump switch installed when I ordered it from our local homebrew store, Yeasty Beastie. And this will support a 1650 watt element at 15 amps, 120 volts. The pump side, or the alarm on this box, will support 8 amps, which is plenty for a brew pump. The probe, as far as your RTD probe, it is a RTD PT100 style, uses a 3.5 millimeter phono type jack. Your power cord is 3 foot 6 inches, and your PT100 RTD probe will be a 6 foot 8 inch, and I always keep an extra, and then that's what your tip looks like. That you can put this inside a thermal well, and I have this in a thermal well, and I'll show that in just one moment. You can run this on PID in Fahrenheit or Celsius. You can read it. I do recommend auto tune it. That is a function in itself. If you need to reset this thing, what you do is you will hold, and I've done this several times, you will hold the set and AT run button down, and I want to say it's 5 seconds, and it'll reset the factory default. You can bump back up and do whatever you got to do. So you can auto tune it, and you can run it in manual from 0% to 100% power. Once you auto tune this thing, it's going to run, and it's going to be very, very precise. And if you look right here, I mean, it stays right on the money, and I'm just recirculating it through my RIMS tube, and I'll show you that right now. So I just have it just recirculating through the old RIMS tube here. This is the 18-inch body. I have a 1650 watt element in here. Runs to about right to there. And this is a thermal well. So that temp probe is seated in this thermal well. This was the easier option for me on this RIMS tube, but you can buy them where they're integrated into however you're going to build it, or you're going to buy it already ready to go. I was going to build it, but I just didn't have the time. At the time I was working a lot, and I can weld and all that good stuff, but this was an easy option for me, so that's what I did. So anyway, I went to Jason at my local homebrew store, and I told him about it. He goes, well, let me order it. I was like, okay. So he ordered it. It was actually the same price, and he made a little bit of money, and so did Bobby from Brew Hardware. So think about that when you're buying equipment or buying anything for that matter. Just about every time your local homebrew store, they'll be able to help you, and a lot of times they'll be able to get it for the same price, if not better. But you wind up helping 2 businesses at one time, which is awesome. I want to help the little guy and these the little local homebrew stores. They're great people. They're always great people, everyone I've ever been into. But I'm particularly fond of Yeasty Beastie, my local homebrew store. So, but they're the ones I go to for everything. YeastyBeastie.com, and that's YeastyBeastie.com. I encourage you to visit their online store, and that is my RIMS system. Pros, cons. Cons: you can scorch your wort if you get a stuck mash. No doubt about it. It can happen, and if you don't watch it, it will happen. I went with this system because it's easier to clean, in my opinion, because the tube inside the tube is just so sanitary and clean and easy to clean. I can look in it and make sure it's clean, and that to me made all the difference in the world. I've never had a stuck mash. I'm on top of it. I stay on top of it. But I think the secret to that is when you dough in and start your mash process, you want to let your grain bed settle, and you never want to recirculate too fast. You want to very slowly circulate. Like right now, I'm wide open on my ball valve, and so I would typically run that little bit. I mean, just a trickling through my mash, somewhere in there, just enough to have a little bit of flow, and you can see that's the handy thing about having the sight glasses. You can see the flow going in there. And if not, the cool thing about having a RIMS system is you can leave your mash tun lid off a little bit, and you can see that flow constantly. Never want to stop that flow for sure. Zero scorch, that'd be a bad day. Burn all them sugars. But that is my con of the RIMS system. I think it's a little bit cheaper to go with a RIMS 120 volt control box. With the RIMS, that's all you really need for a home brewer running 12 to 20 gallons. It will handle that. I went with the 18-inch RIMS tube, and the other option is a 12-inch. But if you build it, you can build it any dimension you want. I've seen them, and you can lay it down vertically. You can put it horizontal. I mean, you can put it any way. It's not really going to matter, as long as. And I had this question recently. Where do you put your probe? Well, that's actually a really good question. If your heating element is here and your liquid is coming out here, do you want to know the liquid going in or coming out back to the mash? To me, more accurately, you want to know the liquid going to the mash, or the liquid that's going over your grain bed. To me, you're going to be more accurate if you're putting 152 degree water on top of your mash rather than coming in and reading it down at the bottom, and it's already passed your heating element, so it's playing catch up the whole time. So if it's off a little bit, it's going to know right here, I need to fire down here to get that mash temperature or that liquid temperature up. So what I want to do now is I'm going to move my cursor. See, it's flashing. I'm going to move it over. So I'm going to bump it up. And it's just going through itself. So, and it's firing, and it's modulating itself. It's not a constant temperature. It's pulsing. So it overshoots and it backs off. And it's figuring it out. It's a smart system. It understands how the liquid is being heated, so it knows how hard to hit it and how soft not to hit it. So it's very, very precise and accurate. So now, even if you scale this up to a 12-gallon batch, it's still very, very accurate. The reason I went with the RIMS versus the HERMS, honestly, it had to do with the portability. And at the time, I didn't have the space that you see here where all my brewing stuff is. I since built a shop, and I have all the stuff that was in my garage in my shop, and I have this big space where I have all my play equipment for my brewing. And but at the time, it was a space thing, and to have a RIMS system, I would have added more weight to it, and this just played right into what I need. It's been a really good system for me, and I enjoy it, and I highly recommend anybody going to a RIMS system. Don't hesitate. Everybody that I know of that have gone to them has thoroughly enjoyed them. They've enjoyed the product that they're producing, that it's so repeatable, and that's the great thing about having this system. As always, this is Eric, and I thank you for watching, and please subscribe, hit that bell down below, and I'm going to thank Yeasty Beastie, my local homebrew store, for sponsoring me on this video, and check them out. I'll give a link down below, and as always, this is Eric, and cheers.